Hello fellow Star Wars fans, my name is Starrapter and welcome to the channel. If you're looking for the latest on Star Wars comics, then you are in the right place because every week I break down the latest in Star Wars comics. And today we have two comics to break down. We have Bounty Hunters issue number 30 as well as Solo and Chewbacca issue number 9. But first, if you like this content, this video, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I'm just a little bit away from that 2K mark. I would love to get there in the next couple months, so make sure you go ahead and support the channel. That way you'll never miss another one of my comic review roundups. So getting into it for, of course, Han Solo and Chewbacca. This is issue number 9, the penultimate issue out of the 10-issue maxi series. This one, of course, is written as always by Mark Guggenheim with artwork as always by David Messina. This is Dead or Alive Part 9, in which we bring it into the story where we have Chewbacca falling off of this sky train on Coruscant. Well, we kind of know he's going to survive, so they don't really beat around the bush with that. We get to see him rescued because the whole point was they have to get this object that has ended up into Imperial hands, into Grand Moff Tarkin's hands specifically. So they have gotten that thing and they are running away from the Imperials, and that's when we pick up in this issue. And we see them get safely off of Coruscant, and they're investigating this object, which fell apart in the process of getting it off Coruscant. And well, it's actually not the ashes of Jabba's arch enemy, which he was explaining that's what they were going for the million credits, but it's actually some object that they need help to identify. So they go to a informant that they know that Lando has had contact with, and it's actually the Sava from the Lando miniseries back in 2015. So of course, around the Charles Soule universe, as we always do, he brings different things from Darth Vader, from Poe Dameron, all these different things, Rise of Kylo Ren, and we got a nice little connection here because this character here, this little Ugnaught Sava, little kind of lady full of energy and whatnot, she's explaining that this is actually a neurocortex of a droid, and not just any droid, but a droid called Ajax Sigma. And this droid dates back to 200 years before, and that brings it to the High Republic era, and there was this whole droid uprising because Ajax is like the one droid that actually like thought for itself. It had that self-identification, that self-awareness, if you will, and it was able to kind of get this droid uprising on Kligson's Moon Uprising is what it's called, and I'm sure we're going to probably see that in Phase 3 of the High Republic. But the idea was Jabba apparently wanted this device to make his own droid army, his own droid uprising. So we get this information, but it's not long before Han's enemies show up, right? So we have this Lal Min showing up with his fake father, Taisa, or Qi'ra, how you ever pronounce that, as well as the other crew that was also hired by Jabba. So quickly turns into a shootout, and Han is running away, gets back to the Falcon, and there he finds, the fake father of his, Qi'ra, holding him at blaster point. Meanwhile, Chewie is fighting this lawman guy. So a lot of hijinks, a lot of action. This was a great penultimate issue because it really brings into the point of what this MacGuffin, what this object was. And this object is going to be super important going into the current time of the Star Wars ongoing comics, which will be branching into Return of the Jedi. So as we did see earlier last year, we had Star Wars Revelations. It gave us like a big overview of what might be coming in the next couple months. And this story is kind of playing out the way that was predicted by Vader, having that, vision with the Eye of Webish Balg on Mustafar, where in fact there was going to be that object which would resurrect this droid here. It's not resurrected yet, but Ajax Sigma is a droid. And we know this story does take place before A New Hope, but just the idea of this droid maybe starting a droid uprising right before Return of the Jedi. I mean, we've seen a little bit of IG-88 from the Bounty Hunters comic, and well, maybe he gets into cahoots with that. But anyway, this was a really good, rock-solid issue. I had an issue, though, with specifically their easy way off of Coruscant. I feel like if the Imperials were after them, how did they get away from, the Imperials on Coruscant so easily? I guess it's just a plot device to get them out of there faster. But yeah, it's pretty cool there. There's one moment where they're talking about the droid, the neurocortex or whatever, and about this droid that had independence. And Han was like, hey, I met a droid like that before, L337 from Solo, a Star Wars Story. So there's a nice little image of that, and we know that droid has been transposed into the brain of the Millennium Falcon, one of the 2 brains, I believe, of the Millennium Falcon. So overall, this story feels so much like Han Solo, probably more so than any other Han Solo story. So far, Mark Guggenheim and David Messina have knocked this one out of the park. I can't wait to see how they bring it to a close next month. As far as another ongoing we have here is Bounty Hunters issue number 30, Chaos on Bestine, written, of course, by the power duo here of Ethan Sachs and Paolo Villanelli. These guys crush it every time, and this issue is no different. In fact, issue is one of the most memorable issues of the last year, if you ask me, because there's just a lot of emotional weight and engagement from me reading this thing, because it's just really telling a story set in an era we know, but so fresh with ideas, and takes risk and really just opens up my mind more to the bounty hunters side of things. So we open up with this issue. We have this great flashback, and it really sets up kind of the emotional storytelling later on in this issue. So this flashback is all about Nakana Lash, who was this bounty hunter that kind of rounded up all these other bounty hunters like Tasha or Tonga, and as well as Boss, right? So we have all these different characters, having good times, Beilert Valance and all that stuff. And then we flash forward to the current time, where we have this flashpoint of Beilert Valance is working for the Empire just so he can basically keep Cadeliah safe, that girl that's the subject that's going to be the person that's the heir to the Mourner's Wail and the Unbroken Clan of Corellia, which is a big deal for the underworld. So he's trying to keep her safe, as well as her love interest, which is taking care after them. So he's working for the Empire kind of against his will right now, because Vader knows about this, and he's using that as leverage for him to work for Vader. So we got that team that's going in to try to take out the Crimson Dawn team, who, unbeknownst to Beilert Valance, is his old comrades, led by Tonga, with Bosk, with all those other dudes. So they come together in that last issue, and that's when Tonga comes face to face with Beilert Valance. So that's where the flashback comes in, because it's giving them kind of that, oh my gosh, what's going on here? So we open up to that present day time, and that's when Tonga lays it all out to Beilert Valance, says that Cadeliah has been taken by Crimson Dawn, says that the Empire has basically killed the entire rebel force, including his love interest, which just sets Beilert Valance off on a revenge killing spree, where he just goes after all the shore troopers. He pulls out all the stops. He's using his mechanical cybernetic body to just do amazing things, like shoving shipping containers, crushing people, using his laser blast on his hand. This guy just goes AWOL against the Empire. Yeah, he's definitely not working for the Empire anymore after this. And it's just all the carnage, and you just see the rage. And I gotta shout out Paolo Villanelli and the rest of the artwork team, because there's some striking images that really just show you, again, the emotional weight of what Beilert Valance is going through in this moment, where his world just falls down, right? His charge he's been trying to keep safe is gone in enemies' hands. Then his love life that he left that stone with and all this, it's really tragic. He said he was going to come back, and then he's not going to be able to come back because he's no more. He just loses it, and you have this beautiful one-page shot. Should be a poster of the skull, and you see Tonga just embracing Beilert Valance, oh my gosh, that thing almost brought a tear to my eye. That's how good that looked, and that's how great the story is. Really just bringing in that kind of weight to a comic book story is something that you just don't see very often, and I gotta give credit where credit is due. So yeah, just an awesome issue. It picks up, and apparently the whole idea of the Empire, right? Their perspective for the mission of Beilert Valance and his crew was oh, we're going to bring in rations for these poor people that are starving and all. No, they weren't rations. We find out they were all bombs. They were just going to bomb this Crimson Dawn holdout place. So everybody teams together. You got the Crimson Dawn people with Tasu Leech and all those other guys, Boss, and then the other people that Beilert Valance was leading, the Revengers or whatever their name is, they all team up. They say, okay, let's kill the Empire. Basically, they put all the bombs on this ship and they send it out to sea to blow up one of the bases. Vader gets word of this, and now Vader has gotten involved, and he is not happy with Beilert Valance, and they come face to face, and that's where we leave off for the next issue. So yes, what a cliffhanger. I'm still a little bit perturbed that we have Vader in 2 different spots at the same time. It's you have Vader here dealing with Beilert Valance, but then in the Darth Vader comics, you have Vader dealing with the Handmaidens and Yul Tambor on that one planet, right? Something minor, Skako Minor. So it's like, okay, I would like to know as a canon junkie where exactly these are taking place, but I know it's more nebulous in the Star Wars timeline. I can get over that. But other than that, that's such a nitpick comparing this story. Again, both these stories were great, and this is why I love Star Wars comics, because the artwork is great, the writing is great. These are both going in a great direction. Can't wait to see what's happening with both of them. But I want to hear what your thoughts were on these two comics that came out this week. Are you digging Bounty Hunters? What do you think is going to happen at the end of Han Solo and Chewbacca issue number 10? Are they going to die? Yeah, they're in New Hope. But I would like to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below. For more on the Star Wars content on this channel, like I said, I'm trying to get to 2,000 subs. I'm almost there. Really appreciate it. If you like this content, go ahead and subscribe, and then that way you'll never miss another video. You'll never miss another live stream that we go every Friday for Outer Rim Transmission. But that's it from here tonight. That's going to do it for me, Starrapter. Thank you so much for watching, and may the Force be with you always. Thanks for checking out the video. Please hit that thumbs up symbol. It helps me know that I'm making content that you guys enjoy. And if you enjoyed this video, I also included 2 videos down below you guys should check out. And please consider subscribing to this channel. It helps support me, and it notifies you guys of when I get new videos up on the channel. You can also contact me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Starrapter.